Okay. My name's Clay Anderson, and I'm going to be I'm going to be giving you instructions on how to effectively solve a 3x3 Rubik's Cube like the one I have right here. So, starting off, I just want to go over a few things that will help newcomers understand the geometry of a Rubik's Cube. And you might be thinking, like, well, that's kind of weird. It's a cube. Geometry, it's just a cube, man. And in a way, you're right, but there's a little more to it when it comes to one of these puzzles. And it's going to help you, by learning these things that I have to say, it's going to help you kind of understand how you move around when doing the cube, when moving pieces around, how they move. So here I have what's a deconstructed, in my left hand here, is a deconstructed 3x3, okay? This is what's in the very middle of this cube right here. In the middle is this skeleton. It's like a what do you call it? Not apex, but yeah, it's on an apex. And it tells us a few things. The first thing is that in the middle, these pieces never really truly move, okay? The white side, for example, is always going to be the white side, and you know it will be because this white piece is in the middle. And directly opposite of it is always the yellow side. Okay? And the same goes with the red. It's always opposite of orange. And the same thing goes with the blue. It's always opposite of green. And that's good because whenever you're solving it, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, how do I, do this? And a lot of people, when they first tackle one of these, is you're like, well, let me solve it face by face. And in some ways you're going to be right in doing so, but only for a little while. And then it starts to get a little more complicated, and you solve one face, or at least you think you do, and then you go to the next one and you start messing up all the stuff down here. And the reasons why is because, one, you just don't know how to move the pieces around effectively without moving the other stuff, and that's what we're going to get into. But two, just because you also don't understand conceptually of which side is which. And by knowing that this is what the inside of this looks, and knowing that these pieces in the middle never move, it makes it a lot easier to understand how it all shapes up in the end. So another thing before getting into the solve is understanding what I mean whenever I say right, up inverted, left inverted, so on. Inverted, when I say that, all I'm meaning is counterclockwise. So, for example, if I say right, that would mean turn the right side clockwise. Right inverted would mean turn the right side counterclockwise. So, right would be, when holding the cube, like so, right would be turning this piece that way. Right inverted would be this way. Okay? Imagine we're still holding it like this way, but to visualize it better, we're looking at the side that I just turned, but just I'm moving it this way. Right, see that's going clockwise, and then right inverted, counterclockwise. Same thing with up inverted, left inverted, okay, and then front inverted, okay. So next, and one last little thing before we get into this all. There's two types of pieces other than the middle piece, obviously, and that's edges and corners, okay? There's only 4 edges for each side. It never changes. There's only 4 pieces on this whole thing that could possibly go for an edge piece on this white side, okay? There's the white orange, the white blue, the white red, so on. With the corner pieces, it's similar, except there's 2 colors, okay? So there's the white corner over here, and it's got green and it's got red on it. This corner piece will always go right here between the green side and the red side. That's just important to know, so that way when you're looking at pieces, when it's all mixed up and you're like, well, where does this need to go? Well, it doesn't just go anywhere. It only has one spot, and that kind of helps narrow things down. So without further ado, let's just mix this thing up. And then it doesn't matter how you turn all this stuff around, because there's 13 quintillion different ways that you could mix one of these things up. And the method that we're going to use to solve this cube will solve all 13 quintillion. So now it's all jumbled up. It's a big old mess. And we're going to start by solving the white face, but really what we're solving is the first layer of the cube. And we're going to do so by having the white face, and we know this is the white face because it's the white middle piece right here. We're going to have it facing up. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to search around the cube. I'm just turning it in a circle. See if I can find any white edges. There's only 4 of them. So like here's one and here's one. And there's also one already on the top, and it's kind of already turned the right way. The only thing is that although, yes, this white is correct, the red, the corresponding color to this white edge, is not lined up on the right side. This is the blue side, and that's a red. So we'll just turn this top edge piece around. So it's right here. I'm just going to turn it around until it's rotated along the red side. So that one's in the correct spot. So that's one less down. So now just looking at a few more, here's one right here. I'm just going to go ahead and put it down to the bottom, because typically you're going to find these edge pieces down at the bottom, but you could find them just about anywhere. You're just going to have to move them around. But let's just start by putting all of them at the bottom if they're not already there. So this is a white green edge, and so it needs to go on this side where the green is, so it needs to go right here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to turn, it's back right here in case you lost it. All I'm going to do is just turn that edge along the bottom until it's lined up with the green face. Now, from this point, you want to put this piece up here, and so naturally, you're going to try to do that right there, but that's not quite right because the white's over here on the green side and the green's over here on the white side. We need to flip that piece around. So we're going to do this little move right here. So just putting that piece back down on the bottom, we're going to hold it so that way that piece is on our right-hand side right here. We're going to do this little move right here. We're going to do right, and that's clockwise. And then we're going to do up. Then we're going to do front inverted, so counterclockwise. And then we're going to do up inverted. And now all of a sudden, that white edge is where it needs to be, okay? Green side on the green side, white side on the white side. And then we have not messed up the edge that we already had lined up earlier. So now just searching for another edge, just one right here. We got the white orange piece, white orange edge. So I'm going to turn it along until it's underneath the orange and do the same move. Put it over my right, do right, right, up, front inverted, up inverted, and boom, we're where we need to be. One more piece right here. Now, to get this piece down here, you're gonna mess the top up for a second, okay? Because you're gonna need to rotate this down, so that way it's down on the bottom. And then all you need to do is just get it out of the way. So we're just gonna rotate this bottom piece, and so this hasn't moved any. This is our red and white edge that we just moved down to try to get this blue piece down. Just move it out of the way, so that way we can undo the move we just did to bring that red, white back up. So now this is all back where it was, but now we have this one to free float around the bottom, and we can move it exactly where we need it to, the blue white edge that we just got down. So we're gonna bring it down and around to where it's underneath the blue, and this is the ideal situation. It's already turned the right way. So now we just turn that white edge up to the top, and it's already lined up in the correct way with its blue on the blue side, white on the white side. And we have the first part of this solve, which is the white cross. Now, the next part is solving the corners for the white face, or the white layer, the first layer, I mean. To do this, we're going to flip the cube this way. So the yellow is pointing up and the white is pointing down. Okay? From this point, we're going to just search around the top for any white corners that we see. There's only 4 of them, just like with the edges. This one right here is the white, red, blue corner. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to rotate it along the top until it's between the 2 sides that the colors of this corner correspond with. So like I said, it's the white piece with the white corner piece with red and blue. So we're going to put it between the face, that's the red side, and the blue side. Okay? From this point, there's 3 different ways that you can find this corner piece turned in. Okay? And in order to put it down in the correct way, down here that is, where it needs to be, there's 3 different moves you'll have to do depending on how it's facing. It can either be facing towards you, like this one is. The white could be facing up, or the white could be facing to the right. That's the only 3 ways you could find these corner pieces. With the white facing towards you, what you're going to have to do is up, right, up inverted, right inverted. And now we've put that corner piece down where we need it to be. Okay? Notice how it lines up with the blue side, blue on blue, red on red, white on white. That's where we want it. Then we just go to a new corner. So there's one right here. There's white, orange, blue. So we're going to put it between the orange and the blue sides. Blue, orange. It's right here. And here's the situation where the white is on the right side. For that, we're going to do this move right here. We're going to do, let me move this way a little bit. We're going to do right, up, right inverted. Easy. Now it's down where it needs to be. We've done nothing to change anything else. We've just moved that corner where we want it to. So then we're just moving along the top again to look for a different corner. And lo and behold, we have the third situation where the white is pointing up. Same scenario though. We're going to put the corresponding colors between the 2 sides that they belong to. So orange and green, we got it between the orange and green side. And so we're going to do this move for when the white is pointed up. We're going to do right, up, right inverted, up inverted, right, up, right inverted. And now that piece is where it needs to be. All the other pieces unchanged. We're left with one more corner to do, and it's right here. It's the easy case. Again, put it between the 2 sides that it belongs to. It's on the right, so we're just going to do right, up, right inverted. And now we have solved the first layer of this cube, and also subsequently the first face. Okay? But more importantly, we're looking at these layers, because now we're going to be going to the second layer. The second layer being right here in the middle. And it's only edge pieces that we're really worried about here, because of this layer, those are the only pieces that we can manipulate. The middle pieces, of course, don't move. So to do this, there's a couple set of moves that we're going to have to follow, but when using them, we need to first do this. We need to look at the top edge pieces and look for edge pieces that don't have yellow in them. So like this one right here. This piece right here is an orange and a green edge. And we're going to first look at the color that's facing us, not the color that's facing up. The first color is orange. So we're going to turn it just around the top until we're lined up with the orange side where it belongs. And then we're going to look at the top color. The top color is green. So which side is the green on from this point? It's on the left, okay? This is important because if it was on the right, we would use a different set of moves. So with it being on the left, we're going to hold it so that way it's, first off, make sure it's lined up, but we're going to hold it so that way it's right here in front of us. It's not on the right, it's not on the left, it's not on the back, right here in the front. And we're going to do this move right here. It's going to be up inverted, left inverted, up, left, up, front, up inverted, front inverted. And now that edge is where we want it. And we just do the same thing again. We look along the top. We find an edge piece that doesn't have yellow. This one's orange-blue. Bring the orange that's facing us to the side that is orange. That is this side. And then we're going to look at the top color. It's blue, which is on the right. And so we're going to use a different set of moves. The set of moves that we're going to use for whenever the edge piece needs to go to the right is going to be this. It's going to be up, right, up inverted, right inverted, up inverted, front inverted, up, and front. And now that edge is where it needs to be. Looking around the cube, right here. And it's already lined up for us. We have the red on the red, blue is on the top. So we need to go to the blue side, which is on the left. So we use the left side moves, or the moves for the left side, which is up inverted, left inverted, up, left, up, front, up inverted, front inverted. And now that is where it needs to be. And we move on. So here's a situation where we need one more edge piece to be where it needs to be, but none of the top edge pieces are edge pieces that don't have yellow. And that's because the edge piece that we need is actually in the right position. It's the red-green edge, and it's between the red and the green side. It's just turned the wrong way. So all we're gonna do is one of the moves that we just did to get it out of there. We're gonna essentially replace it with one of these pieces up here. And which one you use depends on where you position this piece. So if you're going to use it, if you're going to do the move where the piece is on your right, well, then you need to do the move where as if you were trying to move this piece to the right side, which was our up, right, up inverted, right inverted, up inverted, sorry, front inverted, up, front. All right, if I had it over here, I would use the other set of moves, which was up inverted, left inverted, up, left, up, front, up inverted, front inverted. We're gonna do it where it's on the right. So it's on our right. We're gonna do up, right, up inverted, right inverted, up inverted, front inverted, up, front. Nothing has changed in the middle layer or the bottom. All we've done is moved that piece up. It's over here, red on red, green to the right. So we're gonna use the same move we just did, except it's gonna go in right this time. So up, right, up inverted, right inverted, up inverted, front inverted, up and front. And now we have the second layer done on this cube. Oops, it's probably easier to see like this. There we go. And so now all we're dealing with now is the top. So with the top, there's a couple situations you can find yourself in. You're at first, once completing the second layer, you're first just going to be looking at the edge pieces, okay? Just like how we did with the bottom, we started with the white cross. Now we're going to try to build the yellow cross, okay? The things that, or the way that you can find the top is you can either have what we call the backwards L, which is what you see right here. And that's cool. You know, it's cool to have the backwards L. The other thing you could have is a horizontal line. If it's a line, but if it's vertical, then all you need to do is just turn how you're holding the cube, because if you're going to solve this next step that we're about to do, you're going to want to make sure that that line's horizontal. Whether you have the backwards L or the horizontal line, or none of those, because it's possible that you can have just the yellow in the middle, and we're not caring about the corners, just to remind. We're just looking at the edges. It's possible that you just have the yellow piece in the middle and all these edge pieces have the yellow on the outside, so they're not facing up. In which case, you're still going to use the same move, but you're going to use it until you get a backwards L or a horizontal line, etc. The other situation is you could have finished the second layer and voila, you already have the yellow cross, in which case you can just skip this step. But typically you're going to have what we have right here, which is a backwards L or a horizontal line. If you have the backwards L, just make sure it is a backwards L when you're holding it, of course with it facing up, like I have it right here. You don't want to have it like this, where it's not a backwards L, it's something else. Have it like that, okay? And you're going to do this move right here. Yes. You're going to do front, right, up, right inverted, up inverted, right, up, right inverted, up inverted, front inverted. Yeah. And now you have the yellow cross. Okay. If you would have stopped about halfway through that move set, you would end up with the horizontal line. And so just completing that move set gets you the whole yellow cross, which is what you want to have. once you have gotten to this part of the solve, we have all of our edges turned the right way, but are they in the right spots? And so what we're going to do is we're just going to turn this top part of the cube around and look to see if any of the edges match up, like this one right here. The red does. That's cool, but none of them, the other ones do. And so what we're looking for is for two of them that are next to each other to match. And we got some right here. So the orange and the green, they're next to each other and they're both lined up correctly. And that's great, because the other situation would be where, for example, the green would be right and the blue would be right, but not the red and the orange. Or the orange and the red would be right and not the green and the blue. So the opposites would be in the right spot, in which case you would still need to do the same move we're about to do, but you need to do it until you got the situation that we have right here where they're next to each other. With them next to each other, all we need to do is have one of the ones that are correct. Make sure I'm not out of the frame again. We're going to want to make sure that one of them that are correct is on the back, away from us, and the other one is on our right. Okay? With it like that, we're going to do this move right here. We're going to do right, up, right inverted, up, right, up, right inverted. And then one more turn of the up should put all of our edge pieces right where we want them to be. So everything's turned right and in the right spot for our edges on the top. So now we're just back to focusing on some corners, in this case the yellow corners. And so now what we're going to do is just scan the top and see if we can see any corners that are in the right spot. Not necessarily turned the right way, I mean they can be, but we're really just looking for one that's in the right spot, okay? For example, this one right here. This is the yellow, orange, green corner, and it is in the corner that has the yellow, orange, and green side. It's right where it needs to be. It just needs to be turned the right way. Now you can either have one that's correct and the rest of them are incorrect, like we have right here. You can also have it to where they're all in the right spot. They're not necessarily turned the right way, but they're in the right spot. If they're all in the right spot, cool. You get to just kind of skip this step. And that's the two situations you can have for this part. So with one being right, we're going to have it closest to us and to the right. So how I have it right here. This corner up here, which I'll turn again so that way you can see it. Yellow, orange, green on the yellow, orange, green side. It's closest to us and to the right. How we're holding it. We're going to do this move right here. We're going to do up, right, up inverted, left inverted, up, right inverted, up inverted, left. Nothing has changed, so we do it again. You basically do this move until the corners are in the right spot. So we're going to do it again. Up, right, up inverted, left inverted, up, right inverted, up inverted, left. And now we have all four corners in the right spot, okay? This one stayed where it needed to be, so yellow, orange, green, and the yellow, orange, green side of the cube. This is the yellow, blue, orange. It's between the blue and the orange, right where we need it to be. And then this one's the blue and the yellow, and it's between the blue and the yellow. Or sorry, not blue and yellow. Blue and red. Yeah, it's obviously yellow. It's a corner piece for the yellow side. But it's in the right spot. And then right here we have one that's turned right as well as being in the right spot. This corner right here. And that's cool. Sometimes you'll have those, sometimes you won't. In the case that you do, like this one right here, what you're going to do is whether it's right or not, all of them should be in the right spot at this point, but you're going to flip it upside down. And then you want to have the one that's correct. Like when I say correct, I mean turned the right way and everything. It's right. You're going to have it obviously pointed down because we flipped the cube, and it's going to be closest to you and to the left, okay? Furthest from you would be these ones back here, okay? Not the one that's up here. So closest to you and to the left, and so the one to the right of it should be one that needs to be turned the right way. And what we're going to do is we're going to repeat the same move over and over again until the yellow part of this corner is facing down with the rest of the yellow side. It's going to jumble up everything. It's going to seem like you're messing up the cube, but it's one of those things where like you just do it, and then at the end, it just works itself out. And so keep doing that. It's going to be a move set of 4 moves. Make sure, it's absolutely important that you finish the entire move set before moving on to the next corner. And I'll show you what I mean. The move set is right. Okay, sorry. Again, with that next corner, the correct corner is down the bottom left, close to you. Next corner is bottom right. So you're going to do right, up, right inverted, up inverted. Then repeat it. Keep going until it's down. Right, up, right inverted. And see, now it's facing down, but I still need to do up inverted. That's important. Finish out the 4th move. It's now facing down. I'm going to continue to hold the cube in the same way I was just holding it. I didn't move it around. I'm just holding it right here. Now we just rotate this bottom corner, or the bottom layer, if you will, so that we go to the next corner. And we're going to repeat the same thing, trying to put the yellow part of this corner facing down with the rest of the yellow face. So right, up, right inverted, up inverted, right, up, right inverted, up inverted, completed. And then we do it again. We rotate the bottom layer to the next corner and repeat the process. Right, up, right inverted, up inverted, right, up, right inverted, up inverted. And look at that. It's solved. And that's all it really takes. A lot of practice, and you'll be able to do it in your sleep. And then you can start moving on to all these cubes. Well, some of them aren't even cubes. Some of them are weird shapes like this one and this one. But that's how you do it.